Our next panel is called Securing High Quality Data to Power DeFi Applications. We're being joined by node operators on the Chainlink Network discussing their best practices for securing DeFi data. And this panel is going to be moderated by Peter from ChainLayer. So I'll leave it with him.
Thanks, Adam.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. I'm Peter from Mourik. Okay, so I'm a co-founder of ChainLayer. I'm working for Chainlink as a node operator community manager. And I'm here tonight to moderate this panel on best practices securing DeFi data. With me tonight, I have three great people and wonderful node operators, Leo, Peter, and Andrew. Peter is having a little technical issue, so he should be joining again. Hi, Peter, can you hear us now?
Yes, can hear you now.
Yes, I can hear you as well. Perfect.
Awesome.
So first of all, I'd like to ask you three to introduce yourself to the audience. So Leo, could you go first?
Hi, so I'm Leopold. I'm CTO of Certus.one. So might have heard of us. We are proof of stake validator, proof of stake validation company founded 2 years ago. Got started with Cosmos, basically focusing mainly on tech. So getting involved with projects, really understanding them, but only validating very, very few of them at the time. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much. Andrew?
Hi, my name is Andrew. I'm founder and CEO of Agile Ventures. We're running a link forest Chainlink Oracle, and we're also validating a couple of other chains, Tezos and Seven mainly.
Cool. Thank you so much. Peter.
So hi, my name is Peter. I'm co-founder and CEO of AnyBlock Analytics. We help our customers to integrate blockchain in the widest sense with their business processes by providing method, tools, and data. So we have a pretty strong background in IT operations. Therefore, we offer products like AnyBlock Index, searchable database. We also have quite a fast and reliable Ethereum RPC API. And besides that, obviously, we operate Chainlink nodes, bridges between networks, validator nodes, and so forth.
Cool. Well, happy you're all three you're here. First of all, I think it's good for the audience to hear a little about why you came, how and why you became a Chainlink node operator. So Andrew, if you could tell us.
Sure. So I think it was like May or June last year, in 2019, when Johan was actually from Chainlink, was visiting Austria, and we got lunch together. He reached out based on our validator experience on Tezos. So basically, we've been happily on board of Chainlink Space Rocket ever since.
Cool. Leo?
Yeah, so we got like, we were convinced about DeFi very, very early on, like before it was cool. And we realized off-chain Oracle are one of the major enablers for DeFi. It's like one of the main basic building pieces that everyone's gonna need. So when Chainlink invited us to join, we basically dropped everything we were doing and said, hell yeah. So we were the second node on the network, I believe. And yeah.
Cool. Sounds great. Peter?
Yeah, I met Chris Barrett, who does marketing for Chainlink, actually about 1.5 years ago, another occasion. And he told me all about Chainlink. Then I discussed it with my CTO, and we thought it's the way to go. So once I understood it, how it actually works and what needs to be done, we also met Johan on several occasions. I think some DevCon, actually 2 DevCons now, and Berlin Blockchain Week and so forth. So Chainlink is always there. And we discussed it, yeah, and that's how it happened.
Cool. So, I mean, it's really important, especially in the DeFi network, that nodes are like always up and sending the right data. How do you ensure that happens, Peter?
Well, we obviously have redundant nodes, not too many, but a couple. We test our stuff, and then we do a lot of monitoring. The basic tool for us is Telegraph and Grafana. Since we do a lot of operations with a lot of things, it's just like another infrastructure element that needs to be taken care of, need to be looked at. And yeah, it's not so much different than any other server or thing you want to provide reliably.
Cool. And Leopold?
Yeah, so we built a lot of custom tooling early on, basically. So especially when Chainlink was getting started, there weren't that many native metrics to pull from. So we wrote a Prometheus exporter for Chainlink, which basically checks the service fulfillment on the blockchain itself. So basically monitoring the output, and then, well, we have an existing incident management system that's gonna send alerts for everything we run. So we spent some time integrating Chainlink with that, and it has been serving us nicely ever since. Requires some adjustments from time to time, like with the new Flux Monitor contracts. You gotta be prepared to, well, keep up with the project and write new alerting rules, teach your on-call rotation how to deal with them. But yeah, so most errors, it's actually almost never being the Chainlink node that's causing issues. It's almost always the relying APIs, because the Chainlink software is very reliable because it just proxies data from A to B, and the actual hard work is being done by the actual backend API. So obviously it's them usually breaking, and you just gotta be prepared to understand what happens, yell at them sometimes to fix it, and basically that's it.
Cool. Andrew, anything to add there?
I would just like to build on what Leopold and Peter said. I think at the end of the day, one of the weakest points in the entire architecture is the reliability on the external API providers. So you're basically as good as your data API provider.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So what do you think makes a good node operator, Andrew?
I was thinking about it, and definitely you must have a 24/7 person on call, and have a proper alerting and monitoring in place, because with such a high amount of funds being dependent on the oracles, you really need to be able to react very early on and quickly.
Okay, makes sense. Peter?
Yeah, besides the basic technical ability to operate a node, I think you should also engage in the community. We always learn a bit more. There's always somewhat to discuss. And sometimes you actually also have to react quite quickly if there's an update, or if there's other trouble, for example, rising gas prices. So things happen, and you have to be sort of involved, and probably, or even proactively if possible. Yeah.
Okay. Leo, anything to add there?
Yeah, so basically we believe it's a basic requirement to have some infrastructure engineering expertise. So you need to have at least one or two people who can be on an on-call rotation to deal with outages. But we believe it's not necessarily the strong requirement to be like a deep tech team. So there can be many different reasons to run a Chainlink node, like being experts at the actual data, like many data providers themselves are running nodes, which is super important. Ecosystem stakeholders, there are many reasons to run a node, and like you don't have to build all that tooling yourself. So you can like build most people building tooling open source it, like ours is also fully open source. So the goal is to build like an ecosystem that allows everyone to run Chainlink oracles. Yeah.
Really, everyone? I think it's still a technical task.
Still everyone who can bring that infrastructure engineering expertise, but you don't have to be, say, experts building actual cloud operating systems or anything like it. So yeah, if you.
But you should know how to operate a shell or a Linux server. Or
obviously, I'm talking about strong DevOps teams, but you don't necessarily have to be like DeFi experts. You can also be a data provider or like.
Yeah, so basically, if you already have an IT operation going for something, it should be pretty straightforward operating a node as well. I think that really works into the next question I had is, there are many aspiring node operators, people that want to join the community as a node operator. Do you have any takeaways for them, as in things you should definitely do or should have done before trying to become one? Peter?
Yeah, I think you should go for it. That's how we tried it. We didn't know in the first place as well. So if you have a background in operations, go for it. It's all there for the taking. Get yourself involved in the chat channels and make yourself visible. They are a really nice crowd, actually. We think that is part of the of the whole ecosystem. Is also about the people. So and if you ask questions, they are very helpful. They helped us, and we'll help you. So go for it.
Cool. Andrew?
Yeah, I think if you can invest in a good API providers, because that will make your life easier down the road, definitely, and build a proper redundant setup where you know that it will fail over automatically if something goes wrong on the first server. You don't have to wake up at 3 a.m. and it will automatically go to the second server in another data center, preferably in another country, because there's been some outages. And last thing, if you can buy Ether cheaply, do it, because it seems like gas is only going to go up. So it's a
very good one. Yeah. Leo, anything to add there?
Yeah, so basically what you need to be aware of, you're operating a small piece of a massive distributed system that a lot of people rely on protecting lots of assets. So you really do need a sophisticated ops framework. Like it's possible to do it on your own, but it's much better to have an actual team. For us, it's mostly Hendrik and I were dealing with the moving parts of it. You do need monitoring. I mean, many people, it's very different from mining, actually. Many people come from a mining background and jump to like proof of stake validation or Chainlink operations. And it's very different because you actually have to secure your key and you have to have monitoring that alerts within minutes. But it's all very doable. There's good literature, like the Google SRE books are something that can be highly recommended, that just outline how to build that operations framework. And so the Google teams, Google SRE teams always quote like, hope is not a strategy, and that's something to live by. Everything fails. I think by this point, every single piece of our Chainlink deployment has failed at some point for the most exotic reasons. So everything fails. It's normal. It's okay that it happens, but you need to plan for when it happens. You need to write playbooks. Like my Postgres database just died, and you need to have that nice playbook that tells you how to quickly restore it. Basically, just planning ahead. And run your own GIF node in terms of practical advice. Do not use any third-party Ethereum providers. They are probably gonna be less reliable than your own node. It's just it's just how it is. Chainlink is super latency sensitive, much more so than most apps. So just run it on your own. Yeah.
And maybe even another one like Open Ethereum or Bezo. So. We have more nodes, yeah.
So what we do is we run the main GIF node and have Alchemy as a fallback. If that node dies, it's automated, so most of the time we don't even get woken up. But that's super important. Your own ETH node is definitely gonna fail at some point. It's not as hard as people claim it to. People are like, oh, you can't possibly run your own GIF node, but it's actually not that much of a Byzantine task. It just happens to die every once in a while, and you need to fail over to something else and fix it and get it back online. But it's not this hard science where you need a PhD to operate it. It's
sure, I agree. Yeah, cool. So currently, I think the most value we're securing all is in DeFi. DeFi has shown an immense growth over the past year, even the past month. I think it more than doubled. What do you expect of DeFi in the coming years, and how will that affect your daily operations, Andrew?
I think many people on most of the talks I've seen here on the Smart Contract Summit already mentioned it, but I would like to reiterate once again that we are still very early in the game, and I think most people are just starting to grasp the advantages of the decentralized trustless system where there's no counterparty risk. And the overall value of that's secured through Chainlink will only grow, and I think it'll grow immensely in the following months to many times the amount what we're seeing and what we're securing now. The total value it basically doubled in August alone. So we're around 8 to or 9 billion and millions. And yeah. So essentially, I think we will keep investing time and effort and keep working on our monitoring and alerting. Concretely, for the Flux monitor, we have some work to do there. And we'll probably just add a third completely isolated geo-redundant setup. So because at the moment, all our infrastructure is located in Europe, so we will either go west or east, I think, for our third node.
Makes sense. Cool. Leopold?
We see a lot of further growth in DeFi, so it's probably only getting started. We think it's gonna become more professional with larger actors entering, like less YOLO contracts being deployed, more auditing. So basically how it happens, basically how it happens with everything as it grows and matures. So we'll probably see a lot of institutions figuring out that this DeFi thing might be worth paying attention to. So. And we also see specialized chains like Solana gaining traction. Like Solana is optimized for performance, which is very useful for DEXs and many other DeFi use cases. So we see a lot of other chains actually gaining true viability and actual use, like actual transactions and dApps running on them. Like IBC bridges to Ethereum will become more important in the future. It's probably still all gonna be tied to Ethereum in the end, but you'll see things like DEXs as splitting off to chains like Solana to do the actual CK rollups, layer 2 scaling solutions. There's a lot of exciting stuff. So.
And does that mean anything for your current operations? Do you expect any changes there?
Not really. So any proof of stake validator is probably already going to run a couple of them. So it's obviously going to grow in operational complexity. You'll have to monitor multiple chains if your Oracle is actually operating there. But it's it's a space growing extremely quickly. So we probably also see competitors pop up. But yeah. It's nothing we're worried about in terms of operations. It's just software evolving and gaining more use cases, and it's obviously all very exciting.
Definitely,
might increase revenue, might decrease. We'll see.
Yeah, Peter.
Yeah, I'm very much with Andrew and Leopold, especially in the sense of other chains. There will be definitely many more chains. For example, we have the Energy Web chain, where we are running a validator and we're operating a bridge too. And yes, Chainlink is also available on that network. And we think there will be many more. Might be Solana. Currently, it's more or less Ethereum clones, and they might swap the consensus algorithm, but still they're faster, they're cheaper, they are more specialized. And but DeFi itself, overall, it might be the use case that will draw more and more users, or especially big money as well, to Ethereum mainnet. Like the promise of, in the layman word, programmable money. That is something that is pretty much easy to understand. We are very close to Frankfurt, so tokenizing assets and make that programmable in a DeFi sense, lending and actually getting discount or financial reward, that is a big thing.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Cool. So what data do you expect to be highly requested in the coming months? Do you see any new data you are expect is upcoming, or more of the same in the sense of more different network prices and stuff like that? Peter?
Well, I'm not really sure. Yes, there will be more pricing data, but for us, it would be nice to actually have, for example, an oracle between networks, or an oracle on hardware data, for example, sensor data, but it's not so popular and it's more niche. So might be, but the bull run on DeFi is very strong. So I suspect that's hard to overcome. It's very loud.
Yeah. Leo?
Yeah, we probably see, we're expecting traditional finance the data to be much more important in the future. I think stocks, you have this awesome composability on Aave where you can basically build financial products from scratch overnight. And people will want to have that for traditional finance products. So we're expecting a lot of demand, especially as the ecosystem grows and attracts larger, more traditional actors.
Yeah, I agree. Andrew?
I think I would just build on what Peter mentioned, that DeFi bull run seems strong, and I think it's only going to grow. And we're basically seeing spot markets at the moment. We're seeing some margin trading, and the thing that I think is going to inevitably happen is that the last frontier is derivatives, and there are only multiple teams that are working on this, and they will definitely need a lot of data for this. So things like volatility, pricing for futures and options, and things like this, I think it will be in high demand soon.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I agree totally with all three of you. So what aspect of Chainlink are you most excited about for the near future? Leopold?
Yeah, we're most excited about threshold signatures and efficiency improvements, especially with gas prices spiking. It's also pretty cool because it builds an abstraction layer of sorts that kind of decouples it from the actual chain semantics. So that's also gonna make it easier to link chains together, and that's what we're most excited about. Yeah.
Cool. And Peter?
For us, it's more the community and the aspects of growth. So we don't mind too much if it's going the one way or the other direction. It doesn't make too much. It has been a hell of a ride, and we expect to continue that. And it all starts with that versatility of the network and of the basic concepts. And we think that's already enough to conquer whatever comes up there.
Cool. Andrew?
Yeah, Leopold kind of stole my answer with the So basically, I think having the Flux monitor integrated with threshold signatures will give us immense possibilities of what we can do, especially with the ever-growing gas prices. This will become a really powerful thing.
Cool. Yeah, couldn't agree more. So we're almost out of time, a few minutes left. Leopold, if you have a few closing thoughts for our watchers, maybe how they could reach you if they want to reach out.
Sure. So you can join our Telegram that I'm totally not prepared to link you to. So you just gotta search for Certus.one. We are also on Twitter, and we love talking about what we do. So if you just show up on our Telegram, we'd love to actually respond to questions. And yeah, we believe that collaboration is the most important thing in this space. Like it's growing extremely quickly. We're all sitting in the same boat. And that's what matters most, learning from each other. We basically open source everything we do, and other node operators are doing the same. So that's like close collaboration also with the Chainlink team, like the technical feedback going both directions. That's super awesome. And we hope for that to only grow as it gains traction. Yeah.
Cool. Great. Thank you. Andrew?
I think you can find us on Twitter, linkforest.io. Basically, I would just continue on what Leo mentioned. There's a really good positive vibe, I think, in the Chainlink ecosystem, where people are helping each other and contributing, open sourcing their monitoring and alerting. And I think this is what makes it interesting also to be part of it. It's just a really cool place to be. So if you can join, definitely do that.
Awesome. Thank you. Peter?
Yeah, you can reach me at peter@anybloganalytics.com, so via classical email. And yes, we have Twitter and LinkedIn and whatnot. You can find us there as well. So if you are looking for any infrastructure support, whatever that might be, chat us up. And yes, I totally agree with Andrew. It's a nice place to be in these days. Chainlink is an awesome group, an awesome team. We like to meet them physically as well. So we hope there will be continuous whatever DevCons and blockchain weeks and so forth. We really miss that. So come and join the group. Yeah.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, so for me, it was wonderful having you three here and having this talk. And Peter, I couldn't have said it any better. I really look forward to the day where we can all meet up on stage and sit on a nice couch, at least seeing each other in real life. Yeah, thank you so much for having us. And back to Adam.